Hi, ArcFieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, August 24th. We've been talking about an uptick in tropical activity over the past couple of days. Looks like the overall pattern is becoming more and more active as we head towards the end of the month of August, and it looks like the higher activity levels will continue into the early and perhaps middle part of the month of September. Here's the latest a map from NOAA's National Hurricane Center with a couple different waves. One approaching the Caribbean Sea that is moving in general west to northwest direction, not necessarily going to intensify greatly over the next few days, but certainly something we'll keep our eyes on. And a second wave here, an oppressive wave coming off the west coast of Africa. It too looks like it'll move in a general west to west-northwest fashion over the next few days. So a couple of systems now showing up on the maps here in the Atlantic Basin, as indeed the overall weather pattern becomes a little bit more conducive to tropical activity after a very, very slow start this season. Well, one of the factors that I like to look at this time of the year with respect to tropical activity is the 500 millibar height anomaly pattern, looking for high pressure ridging that can build up across places like southeastern Canada, maybe even the northeastern part of the U.S. And when you get high pressure setting up in this part of North America, generally opens the door for tropical systems to undercut the ridge, to move from the east to the west, either towards the southeast U.S. coastline, into the Gulf of Mexico, or perhaps a little bit farther south into the Caribbean Sea. Now we have a couple of actual tropical waves to monitor over the next several days. We'll take a look here at the involvement of the 500 millibar pattern over the next several days in terms of the 500 millibar height anomalies from last night's ensemble run of the GFS. And what we're looking at are rolling 5-day averages here. This is the current 5-day period. Notice low pressure situated right over northern Canada right now. There is high pressure ridging northwestern Canada and off the over the Canadian Maritimes. So we'll watch what happens as we move through the month of the remainder of August into September. Here we are. Notice high pressure ridging really starting to dominate the scene across Canada here by the time we get into the end of August and the beginning part of September. Right here shows the time period here that this particular map is good for. It's August 28th to September 2nd. So we're just now getting into the beginning stages of September here. And again, higher heights than normal really starting to pop up here by the time we get into the early part of September. Here we go all the way out at days 12 to 16 forecast map here. Higher heights than normal all the way across the southern part of Canada, and a little bit of a break here and then more high pressure ridging south of Greenland. So this is a pattern that is kind of sending me a red flag that we have to watch out as we get maybe to the first week of September, Labor Day weekend. There may be a system to worry about coming in this fashion here, either down in the Gulf of Mexico or towards the southeast U.S. This is going to kind of open the door for a possibility here at the end of August, and more likely the first week, maybe the second week of September, with a lot of high pressure ridging starting to set up to the north across southern Canada and even south of Greenland. Well, let's now take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomaly pattern. This is from the operational run of the GFS last night at 0Z, not the ensemble run, but the operational run. And it's not unusual to see some cool air outbreaks into the northeastern part of the nation at a time of increased threat from tropical activity. And we'll see that here depicted by the 850 millibar temperature forecast maps here, that indeed there are cooler air masses that can move into the northeastern part of the nation, the southeastern part of Canada, which again is not unusual, coincides with high pressure ridging setting up to the north across that part of North America, and that indeed can be associated with cooler than normal air, but it also sends a red flag that there could be some tropical activity to worry about along the U.S. East Coast. Let's move forward here. Next couple of days look quite warm in the mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., high temperatures near 90 degrees perhaps this afternoon, definitely on Thursday and Friday, with an above normal air mass here, setting up shop associated with high pressure. Stays quite warm right into the upcoming weekend. Then we get to the middle part of the weekend, right here, Sunday. Notice a lot of warmer than normal conditions, especially focused over the northern plains and across south central Canada. Now, let's move beyond that quickly through next week. We're now all the way out to the Tuesday of next week, and here we are a week from this morning, next Wednesday, August 31st. That's the last day of the month of August. Look at this cool air mass here, dropping south and east across south central, southeastern part of Canada. And that's as high pressure ridging starts to build in this part of North America. And indeed, it drops all the way into the northeastern part of the nation. Here we are all the way out to a week from tomorrow, September 1st. This is near the beginning of the Labor Day weekend and the beginning of the month of September, with a lot of cooler than normal air showing up, and that is not at all surprising because of high pressure ridging that looks like it'll set up right in this particular region. Again, watch out for tropical systems that possibly undercut and move in this kind of direction here. Let's try this again. Move in this fashion here from the east to the west this particular time of September. Let's move forward here, and we get into Labor Day weekend, and we're way out ahead now. We're more than 10 days out, so this is speculation phase, but I just want to kind of show the overall weather pattern. And here we have another cooler than normal air mass destined to arrive by Labor Day. Again, that's a strong possibility if in fact you have high pressure ridging right in this part of Canada. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps from last night's zero-Z run of the GFS. High pressure in control over the mid-Atlantic region. Quite warm, rain-free conditions, but humidity levels are pretty moderate, especially today. They may creep up somewhat on Thursday and Friday, but not like the heat that we had earlier this summer, even though it could reach 90 degrees in the I-95 corridor region any of the next 3 days. But let's kind of quickly move forward here. I want to point out what will take place at the surface here. Now we're getting into the weekend right here. Still some high pressure in control. Notice the position of that, and that's this weekend over southeastern Canada. That moves off rather quickly, but as we go through next week, leading into the beginning of September, we'll start to see up here to the north the beginnings. This is a week from this morning. Look at that, 1030 millibar high at the surface level over south central Canada, and it's edging its way into southeastern Canada. There'll be a strong cold front here, and that will usher in what we just saw on those prior maps, cooler than normal air. And we get into the last part of August, and here we go. Here's the setup here as we get into the first day of September. This is a week from tomorrow, and notice on this particular model run, a tropical system right here, very, very strong high pressure over the Great Lakes, edging its way in this fashion towards southeastern Canada. And again, we mentioned that kind of opens the door for potential tropical activity to impact the southeastern U.S., the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and this is certainly on the table for the, let's say, the first week of September, perhaps going into Labor Day weekend. This is Friday, September 2nd. Very, very strong high pressure for this time of the year, situated over New England, and here's a possibility of a tropical system as depicted by last night's run of the GFS. And this is a time period that we'll be watching intently the first week of September, let's say, going into Labor Day holiday weekend, with high pressure ridging building over southeastern Canada, and it opens the door for some tropical activity anywhere from the U.S. East Coast to the Gulf of Mexico, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean Sea. That's it for now. For ArcFieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.